Well, today we're going to talk about our 2023 planning that we're getting ready to start. Everybody is already probably deep into it. And the thing that I want to share with you guys is, first off, it's the booklet that you guys have. And give me a moment to bring that up here. And tell me when you guys can see that.
We can see it.
Okay, this is the preparation planning guide that went out, okay? Now, it's important you go through this because it's going to give you a basis as far as how we're going to be planning your next year. And this is something you're going to want to share with the partners on your team as well, not just the team leader and stuff, but also everyone else, because that's going to give you that accountability. And we're going to go through different steps. We're going to initiate a purpose-driven mindset. We're going to write, journal, brain dump stuff down, create our business and life plan, join our business planning event meeting, and that's going to be next week, I think, for most of us. And then translate goals to the action steps that we're going to take. So the first one is going through here, but when you get into what your perfect day is, this is one where we always have a lot of room for improvement, because we turn around the day and said, where did the day go? I didn't get my dials done. I also meant to call around for open houses. So one of the plan or things you can do for an exercise is you can actually take this sheet and see how it's broken down every 15 minutes and then log your time for 3 days. It is an eye-opening experience as far as where your day goes. Because what you'll do is you'll find out from 9:30 to 10, somehow you guys got down a rabbit tree, watching Facebook short reels or something like that. You saw all these things about gerbils running around the thing. But again, those are type of things that's really going to show that. Or maybe you talk to a client and it was a 45-minute conversation. And you're going, could I have made that shorter to make more time to talk with more clients? And some of the people that are big eyes, they're just going to talk on that. But this is one of the first parts as far as planning out what your perfect day is. And we all know we're going to have script practice in the morning, 8:30 to 9, and then we're going to prospect from 9 until 10 or to 9 until noon. We're going to recap. We're going to grab lunch. And if we don't have any appointments and we don't have any business, then we're going to go get some more clients. We're going to keep adding to our database because that's our job until we get clients. And we can also do that through open houses, where we can set up open houses during the week. Always remember that. So those are kind of things where we're going to plan this. And then also you're going to put in your reading and stuff in here too, to also grow yourself. Now, the other part is creating your GPA, which is goals, priorities, and activities. And this is a part where you're going to first have to take a look as far as what you did last year. If you're new, you're not going to have anything on here and you're just going to follow our formula, which works. Okay. If you've been with us for 6 months or more, then fill this out. What's your total net income, total transactions? And this is projected towards the end of the year, whatever that year of end is going to be. If you've got stuff under contract, if you have a listing coming up, if you have a buyer that's going to buy, put those things down here. Okay. So that way you're going to be able to get an idea of far as listings sold, listings taken, average sales price, your buyer sold. And a lot of this stuff right here can be found in Brevity. You can pull this information up and you can get all this information for your GCI and everything. Okay. So once you get this down, now you have a basis point as far as what you're going to be doing for next year. The next thing is, what was your goal for last year? And you're going to put those things down. So now we know what that gap is from what we actually did and what we had planned to do. Now that gap is where our business planning comes in place, because if we had a gap, what are we going to do differently this year to change results so we don't either end up short? Now, if we beat all of our goals, that's great. What are some things we can improve upon to make that even a better year for this coming year? And again, that's where you get with your business partner and actually go through these steps and they come up with a plan with you. Okay. That way you're held accountable. And then you share that with your team. And the reason you're sharing it with your team too is it may spark something in them, which helps them too. So remember, your stories are very powerful. The more you tell them, the more you're going to help others. Now, once you get this done and you know what your goals are and also your top 3 priorities for the next quarter to prepare for next year, then you're also going to do it for your net income for the next 12 months. Now, that's where our planning guide comes in, because once you fill this out, okay, you got some steps where I'm going to switch gears here. Did you guys see where I switched the screen? I want to make certain you guys see it. Okay. And you're going to go down to your budget plan. And on your budget plan, you're going to actually put in your house payment, your utilities for the year. And one of the things you can do is, if you have problems with math, is I just put, if you put an equal sign in front and put 12 times whatever your house payment is, it'll do the multiplication for you. Okay. And then your food, you can do the same thing here. You can put 52 weeks times 150, you know, and you can put that in and it'll fill it out for you. Or you can actually do the math and put it in too. Recreation, entertainment, you know, put your vacations in here and also put some side notes also. So it kind of remembers what those things are. If you have credit card or student loan payments that you're making, car payments, what are those? Other regular payments such as health insurance, childcare, anything like that. And then also miscellaneous expenses. And these could be things like, you know, you've got clothes you're going to be buying, or you've got some things you're doing around the house, just some small things. You want to have that quote slush fund. So you make certain you allocate for everything. Okay. Then it's going to add 25% for taxes. Okay. So it says for personal need, I need 72,000 is what that looks like. So a total is $6,000 a month is what I need. And the cool thing about that is that's got my tax. So that's what I need to do on my each closing then, or for each month. And then you're going to put your business expenses in there. We know we're going to have to pay our broker. Now, for me, I pay a half cap here of 15,000, which is 7,500 plus $3,000 for KWRI. So it's 10,500. Okay. Car payments and gas. I know for my gas, I bought a SUV, so I'm going to be paying more for gas, and that's why I put down the 5,000. Other business expenses here, I'll put those down, and I just kind of rounded that up. If I need to do little events or buy stuff for pop buys from my clients, you know, to drop off to them, I can do that. Any marketing or ads, I don't have anything there because it's already taken care of by the team. And then the insurance, we got E&O insurance this year, so I put that in. And then also miscellaneous, and I just put in $100 a month to take care of any small stuff that may come up. So it gives me a business total of $21,950. Now on yours, most of your stuff on your business expenses is going to be zero because the team's going to absorb that for you. Okay. And then you've got it where it's a monthly fee. So I get my grand total here. Now, if my average commission, and they just put down as 12,000, okay, my average net 50% would be 6,000. So closings needed to survive would be 16. Okay, so that amounts to about 1 a month or just over 1 a month. Okay, my goal though is 30, and additional closings I need is an additional 14, and that additional income will be 85,000 then. Okay, I put take the taxes away from that. So that's going to give me 64,000. Now, this is a part that's really important, guys. Do not underestimate this part. Is what are you going to do with that 64,000? This is what's going to drive you when you get into those days when you don't want to make the phone call. Okay, you want to make certain that you've got these things down. Like if it's an investment home, which I have here, then I need to look, says, I want to get this investment home purchased. I need $50,000 for the down payment for this condo or townhome that I want to get. Okay. Send Kendra and the boys to Disney World. That's my daughter, and the boys are my son-in-law and my 2-year-old and 4-year-old grandson. Okay. But I think I can get them down there for $6,000 and they can have a great time. And also get a housekeeper for the house. Okay. And I put down $100 a month. So they're just going to come in once every 2 weeks to kind of clean up stuff for me. But those are kind of things that I want to do for next year. So I went ahead and budgeted those things, but these things make a huge difference because they're going to drive you. And it could be something else. It could be a college fund for one of your kids. Okay. It could be a car for one of your kids. You know, they're getting ready to drive. Whatever those things are, is when you don't want to make that call, this is when you're looking at that for a big why. So it makes you make that extra call or that extra contact, or you go that extra mile to get that property sold or under contract, so that then you can actually provide that to them. Now, the next tab down here is path to net profit. And one of the great things about these sheets that they've set up for us is the average sale price. You can plug that in. Now you're going to have to check and see what it is for your area. Okay. You'll put that in your average commission, and I put it at 2.75. We know commissions are going to get compressed, so I didn't want to take a naive approach and think it was always going to be 3%. Okay. The place partnership is 50%. Now my brokerage will take out 20%. We're on an 80-20 split here. I know my brokerage cap, my royalty cap, and the royalty is 6%. So from there, I can now look over here and see that after 7 closings, I will cap. Now, if I have larger sales, I will cap sooner than that. Now, most of my team on that is on a quarter cap. So theirs is 37.50, and they cap after just 4 transactions at that average price. Okay. So this right here is essentially, it is actually the path to net profit, because it's going to show you when you cap, and then they're going to continue to take out the 6%, you know, for the 9 transactions until they hit the $3,000 for KWRI. Now, the next tab down here is our listings plan. And on your listings plan, biggest thing we're doing here is, of the closed transactions, which is 30, how many are going to be listings? And of those, then how many are going to fall out? And this is all automated for you. So you just plug in the blue boxes is what you do. Okay. It makes it super, super easy. And then it also will tell you the number of listings you need to carry at all times, depending upon your days on market and how often you're selling them. Now, the next one here, this one is got a lot of information on this sheet. So one thing I do recommend you do is take the view and on the zoom, make it about 75%. Okay. And the reason for that is you're got some stuff over here, all the way over on the right-hand side, where it's got your baseline lead generation key. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to drive your GPA and tell me how many calls you need to make, or how many contacts you need to make, or how many nurtures you need to get out of open houses or circle prospecting or expires. And this is based off of when we did our 10,000 dial day, is we went back and said, let's take a look at these contacts that we made. How many dials did we make? So that told us, you know, what our percentage was for contacts. And then how many of those ended up being an appointment? And then of those appointments, how many ended up being closings? So this is real numbers. Now, if you tracked your own numbers and they're different, then you can change these. Okay. Instead of every 160 dials to get 70 contacts, okay, I can do 100 and get 70 contacts out of my past clients in Sphere, because they always pick up the call because they know it's me and I always give them money. Okay. So they're always going to take my call because I give them money. All right. Now, on open houses, on the open houses, if every one open house you do you get 1 nurture out of it? And of that 1 nurture, do you always get 1 appointment? And of that 1 appointment, how often do you close? And probably not that many. I mean, it may be half of a nurture. Maybe we get 1 every 2 open houses. And of those 2 nurtures, we get 1 appointment out of 2, or maybe it's out of 4. Okay. But take a look at this, talk to your team leader, your partner there, and walk through these, because it's going to help drive as far as how many activities you're going to need to get the closings that you want to have. So I wanted to show you this key because I think it's really important. Now, the next part over here is then you come over here, and then you're going to pick, as far as agent inputs, where's your business going to come from? I put down 30. Okay. Past clients, I'm going to get 8. Open houses, I say I'm going to get 5. Okay. I'm not going to get any through circle prospecting. because that's not my bag. But canceled and expireds, I love canceled and expireds. I can call them all day long and I don't care how many people hang up on me or say I'm going to wait or anything like that. But I love canceled and expired. So I put down 9 there. And then door knocking, put down 0 on that one. FSBOs, I put down 3. And in Brivity web leads, I put down 5. So total, that gives me 30. And you can see it breaks down my percentage of where my closings are going to come from. Now, let's say we're looking at this and we say, past clients, I'm going to do 8, and last year I did 1. That's a pretty big gap. What are we going to do differently to go from 1 past client and sphere transaction to get to 8? Is that really realistic for us? It can be, but let's take a look as far as what our past was. Did we actually pick up the phone and talk to them as often as we should have? Or did we make those contacts with them? Or do we kind of take them for granted and just send them emails? Okay, same thing with open houses. How active are we when we do the open houses? Do we do the prospecting around the open house? Do we put up 10+ signs every time we do one? Are we also, putting up information there where we can capture it? Like we've got the QR code when they come in, so it automatically gets put into our Brivity. So we don't have to worry about signing them up or seeing if they scoot out the door. Are we asking the people at the open house to take off their shoes so they can't scoot out the door real fast? Okay, they have to stop and put their shoes back on. Okay. And then cancel and expired, same kind of thing. Or do we have the resources to do cancel and expires? Door knocking, if we hadn't done any and says, hey, I want to try that. Well, let's be a little bit conservative about it and say we're going to do 2 or 3 on door knocking if we're just going to start it. But again, what's going to be the commitment level? And those are going to be in our GPAs, and that's our activities that we're going to do. So once we have this done, we also know as far as we've got a guideline over here as far as how many contacts it takes. Then we can go over and start taking a look as far as what that's going to look like for our closings, calls to contacts, and it's actually going to give contacts required 480. Okay, is what we need for past clients. That's how many contacts I'm going to need to make. And then open houses, I'm going to need to do 20 on that based on that ratio. Well, I'm going to do more than that, so I need to go change that. Okay, same kind of thing with circle prospect. And there I said I wasn't going to do any, but as I go down here, you've got canceled and expired, and you can see I need to make 7,200 dials. And the good thing right now is we're getting a lot of canceled and expireds. Okay, door knocking, same thing with FSBOs. You can see how many calls it's going to require. 2,400 calls for FSBOs and 240 contacts. Now, normally FSBOs do call you back because they're looking to sell their house. And in Brivity, you can see that's 1,000 dials. So once you get that, then it starts to break it down as far as how many you need to do per week. And when you actually take a look at the number of dials per week, it's not that bad. And that's the great thing about our system, because yes, it's going to be a big plan. Yeah, it's going to show a lot of different things, but when it does, it's actually going to work out pretty easily. Now, the couple things you're going to do when you did your budgeting is it's going to give you some of your life goals. And what those are, you're going to be putting in for your personal life goals, like sending Kendra and the boys to Disney World. That's one of my life goals for this year. And that's so I can have a deeper relationship with them when I go, because they're in Wyoming, they're not here in Tennessee. All right. Then what my business plan is. And of course, we're going to put production plans in here. Other personal life goals might be vacation. You want to have a great experiential life, go on vacations with that significant other, friends, family members, whatever that is. That should be on here too. And then also, this is huge too, is a lot of times we don't know ourselves. Other people are going to help us know those aspects better. Is what are some strengths, things, and passions that we have? Other people are going to say, I always notice that you really like to help people. Have you ever thought about reading up on coaching? Okay. And helping people as far as coaching better, so you can actually do that better, because I see that you really have a heart for that. Or maybe volunteer. Have you thought about, joining a board, to help have a bigger impact in your community. But those are different things you can see that others will see for you. So that's why we want to talk about those. And that's why it's so important to have your one-on-ones with your partners there. And then it could be also in the group after you get these things done is doing the same thing. Then what we do is we start breaking it down by week and we'll put it in here. Now your GPA, this is what it looks like. And you're going to want to have this filled out, before you go in for next week's meeting. And that's going to be version 1. Okay. And that way you can talk to your team lead, and some of them are making appointments, beforehand to kind of talk about that. So it's really easy when we go into our meetings next week. But there's a nice thing is you don't have to start from scratch. If you go to the next tab, there's a sample, okay, where it says I will host 40 open houses, 85 buyer leads to my database, contributing to 30 consults and 8 closings. Okay. So then your open houses here will match what you put on your first sheet there. Okay. And then the same kind of thing with your sellers and your buyers, where you're going to get those, because if you got a 50-50 split, you're going to have 15 from buyers and also 15 from sellers. If you're more heavily rated towards buyers, it may be 20 from buyers, only 10 sellers, or 25 buyers and only 5 sellers. Okay. And then the last aspect, and this is the most important part of your GPA. What are you going to do to improve yourself so that you can actually do the business that you want to do? Part of that is practicing your scripts. I will practice my listing presentation. How many times per week? Okay, so it raises your conversion ratio to 60%, maybe instead of 50 or 25, whatever it is. Okay, I will practice the buyer consultation script this many times a week to convert those people to sign the buyer's agreement. I will build a habit of, and whatever that habit of, in order to, and it could provide value. It could also provide something where you're forging a stronger relationship with people, friends, family, also coworkers. Okay. And this is another one. I will read or listen to how many books in 2023 centered around the topic of, and whatever that is. Okay. I will focus on, and again, whatever that's going to be each day to master a part of the business. And one of the books that we always talk about is Atomic Habits. And that talks about one small habit that we make happen, and it has a ripple effect through our life and through our business. And one guy said, you know what, every time I brush my teeth, or I'm going to sit there and do 3 push-ups. Well, normally if you do 3, you're going to do 4 or 5 or so. So he started doing more and more push-ups and he got stronger. So those are different things that you can do on that. And it says, I will hire or utilize, and again, is it the training library? Is it the classes that we have each week? Whatever that's going to be to help, or you can go back to our past classes too. We've got some great ones on there. You got Persuaded, Joe Rico did. I mean, those are recorded on there. You got Converted that Valencia did as far as getting appointments. You've got Building Your Database that Drew Lee did. Those are all recorded on our place training. Okay. And then I will commit to a morning routine, 4 days in the office by 8:30 p.m. And sometimes that's 5 days a week, but whatever that needs to be. And I will commit to script practice 3 days a week and 1 new agent every month. Okay. So what are some things you showing? And Amy, what are you guys doing too? Because I'd love to get your input on it also. Oh, I thought, there you are. Are you guys having them do anything special?
Are you talking to me? I'm sorry.
Yeah, for the planning.
Oh, as far as getting everybody together for the business planning, or what we're doing next year?
Yeah, just for the prep work, or what you guys are going to be doing for the business planning.
Well, we're gonna do like an all-day retreat thing. We haven't figured out where we're gonna do it yet. But we still need to, I guess, kind of sit everybody down and kind of show them how to play in that to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do before we actually all get together. So it's actually an organized day.
Okay. Well, very good. Well, any input I can give, more than happy to help you guys at all too.
We appreciate that.
So. All right. Well, guys, that's all I've got for you guys today. I just wanted to kind of touch on that so you guys are familiar with the tools. You've seen them. You can start adjusting, playing with them. And if you think that you've screwed something up, don't worry about it. We can trash that one and make a new worksheet for you. It is so easy. Okay. It's like throwing it in the garbage can. So don't worry about going in and breaking something. You can't do it. All right. Okay. I will see you guys later. Hope you guys have a great week and looking forward to your planning that you're doing. Okay.